I'm just carefully taking out my Briza maxima by making sure that I squeeze from underneath, because it's got quite a delicate root system, so you don't want to rip them. I've got a couple here where I've got 2 seeds that have germinated, so I've gently just teased apart the roots and give them a cell of their own. They've done quite well actually, haven't they? I've got one here, can you see? We've got 2 seeds that are germinated in the same cell. They've done actually quite well, but I am going to separate them now. Now, as I said before, you can just get a pair of scissors and snip this one away if you're nervous. But if you're anything like me, 2 plants is better than 1. So I'm just going to very gently tease it apart, making sure that I keep equal amounts of compost around the roots of both plants. There we go. And I'm going to now give them a cell of their own each. Because they're a grass, I am actually going to add a bit of grit to their compost. I haven't really bothered that much with the others, and it doesn't matter if you don't have it, but it will just help with the drainage. There we go. I'm just teasing the compost all around, and you can see the horticultural grit in amongst it. You can use perlite or vermiculite instead if you prefer. I just use grit because it's so much cheaper. There we go. So I'm just going to give it a quick water, and then I'm going to put it out under the cold frames, because you'll remember, if you read in my handbook, that Briza maxima can suffer with cold shock if you plant it out from a warm greenhouse straight out into the outside environment. So it's really important to harden it off slowly, and it's so mild at the moment. So I'm going to start acclimatizing it to the outside environment now, weeks and weeks and weeks ahead. I might bring it back indoors if the temperatures really plummet. We'll play it by ear. You can normally tell by the look on their faces whether or not they need a little spell indoors. There we go, and this is how I'm getting on. Looking good. Found that Briza maxima, or Greater Quaking Grass, is not quite as hardy as something like cornflowers, for example. So for the purposes of this grow along, I have downgraded its official rating to be the same as the Sowing. So if we treat them exactly the same, then we won't go far wrong. The Briza maxima will have a longer hardening off period to acclimatise it to the outside conditions. And then once planted, if we suddenly get a shock cold period, to prevent it from getting cold shock, and cold shock is where the foliage bleaches yellow and it can even go white in extreme conditions, what we'll do is we'll give it a layer of horticultural fleece, and I found that that does the trick. You can find all the information for sowing Briza maxima, Greater Quaking Grass in your Autumn Jump Starter handbook.
Morning. I was just having a potter and I spotted this Briza maxima. I thought you might like to have a look. I really like the way the pods have got that little purple tinge, which is picking up so well from the alliums and the aquilegia at the minute. Neil would just roll his eyes, but I knew you'd understand.